Imagine losing your entire family in a tragic fire and make $10 million then remarry just after that. Sounds outrageous, right? Well, that's just the beginning of this wild, unsettling, and downright bizarre story. Hey there, welcome back to Asia Exposed. I'm Ryan, and today we're diving into one of the most jaw-dropping and darkly comedic real-life dramas you'll ever hear about. Buckle up, because this is the wild tale of Lin Shengbin, a man whose actions turned a family tragedy into a public spectacle of moral decay and human darkness. Our story begins on the night of June 21st, 2017 in Hangzhou, China. Lin Shengbin, a businessman, faced an unimaginable tragedy when a devastating fire engulfed his family home. Lin's wife, Zhu Zhaoyan, and their 3 young children, ages 6, 5, and 2, were caught in the inferno. The fire was set by Mo Huanjing, a former babysitter for the family who had been struggling with severe financial troubles due to a gambling addiction. Mo's financial desperation had reached a breaking point. She had accumulated debts exceeding 60,000, including money from pawning off valuables from Lin's home, in a misguided attempt to resolve her financial issues and perhaps gain sympathy. Mo devised a plan that would ultimately have catastrophic consequences. Her scheme was to start a fire, then heroically put it out to win Zhu Zhaoyan's sympathy and potentially receive financial assistance from Lin. In the early hours of June 22nd, Mo Huanjing's plan took a dark turn. She used a lighter to ignite a book in the family's living room. Her intention was to create a small, manageable blaze that she could easily extinguish. However, the fire quickly spiraled out of control. It spread to the sofa and curtains, turning into a massive inferno that consumed the entire house. Despite her efforts to contain the fire, it became uncontrollable. The resulting blaze tragically claimed the lives of Zhu Zhaoyan and her 3 children. The family was trapped inside, and the fire left no chance for escape. The heartbreaking loss of these innocent lives sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. Mo Huanjing was arrested shortly after the incident, and her actions were met with outrage and disbelief. The trial was swift, and she was sentenced to death for her crimes, a punishment that reflected the severity of her action. In the wake of this unimaginable loss, one would expect Lin Shengbin to be deeply engaged in mourning and dealing with his grief. However, Lin's response to the tragedy was anything but conventional. He mourned his wife and children, but meanwhile married to another woman and even have a baby. The speed with which he entered into a new marriage was nothing short of shocking. This rapid transition raised serious questions and sparked widespread public scrutiny. The pace of Lin's remarriage was perceived as a blatant disregard for the grieving process. It seemed as though Lin was attempting to move on from his tragedy with startling speed, leading many to question his motives and the depth of his grief. The public reaction was one of confusion and disapproval. How could someone who had just lost their closest family members dive back into a new marriage so quickly? It appeared that Lin was dismissing the profound nature of his loss and attempting to erase the pain of his past as swiftly as possible. Lin's quick remarriage felt like a direct challenge to societal norms and expectations around grief. It was as if he was attempting to move on with his life without allowing himself the time and space to properly mourn his family. This rapid transition defied conventional understanding of grief and mourning, leaving the public grappling with questions about Lin's emotional state and his true feelings regarding his loss. But Lin's actions didn't end with his remarriage. In the following months, he began streaming, a platform typically used for sharing personal content and engaging with audiences. However, Lin's use of live streaming was far from conventional. Instead of using the platform to share his grief or seek support, Lin began using it to promote and sell various products. This shift in focus from personal tragedy to commercial gain was deeply unsettling to many. Lin's live streams became a venue for advertising products, turning his personal tragedy into a business opportunity. The public was shocked by this development. It seemed as though Lin was exploiting his tragedy for financial gain, using the emotional weight of his story to boost his sales. The public's reaction to Lin's live streaming antics was one of outrage and disbelief. Many people saw this as a grotesque exploitation of his family's memory. Rather than finding solace or seeking support, Lin appeared to be capitalizing on his tragedy to promote products and generate income. This commercialization of his personal suffering was viewed as deeply distasteful and manipulative. It raised serious ethical questions about the boundaries of personal grief and public behavior. Just when it seemed that Lin's behavior couldn't get any more controversial, he took another surprising step. He established a charity foundation. At first glance, this move might appear to be a genuine effort to contribute positively to society and make amends for the tragedy he endured. However, many saw it as a strategic move to rehabilitate his tarnished image. The charity foundation, which was intended to support various causes, was viewed by some as a thinly veiled attempt to clean up Lin's public image. Instead of seeing a grieving husband trying to do good, a lot of people saw a man trying to cover up his questionable actions by pretending to be generous. The public perception was that Lin was using charitable activities to deflect attention from his questionable behavior and actions. The reaction to Lin's charity work was one of skepticism and criticism. Instead of being viewed as a genuine philanthropist, Lin's charitable efforts were seen as a way to boost his public image. It looked like Lin thought that doing a few good things could make people forget about the bad things he had done. However, the public wasn't easily fooled. They saw through the facade and questioned Lin's true motives. Was he genuinely trying to make a positive impact, or was he simply attempting to salvage his reputation? And you know what? The charity foundation has never been set up and no one knows where is the money. His rapid remarriage, commercial streaming, and questionable charity work have painted him as a figure more interested in self-promotion than in genuinely mourning his family. The public scrutiny of Lin's every move has led to intense media coverage. The media has played a significant role in amplifying the controversy surrounding Lin. The news has covered his behavior a lot, pointing out the gap between what he did publicly and what people expected from someone in his situation. The constant media attention has made people even angrier and has damaged Lin's reputation even more. The Lin Shengbin case is not just a story of a tragic fire. It's a darkly funny take on morality, greed, and how people are seen by the public. Lin's actions have made us face some tough questions about how we think people should act after a tragedy. And what happens when those expectations are completely messed up in strange and unsettling ways? Lin Shengbin's case serves as a grim reminder of how personal tragedies can become public spectacles, revealing deeper truths about human behavior and societal values. His actions challenge our understanding of grief, propriety, and personal integrity. Looking at Lin's case, it's clear there's a pattern of manipulation and deceit. His quick remarriage, commercial streaming, and questionable charity work all seem like part of a deliberate plan to manage and improve his public image. Lin's actions suggest a man willing to exploit any opportunity for personal gain regardless of the impact on others. The broader societal implications of Lin's behavior are significant. His case has sparked intense public debate about the nature of personal and public morality. It makes us question how we view and judge people after a tragedy, and whether we're willing to accept just surface-level acts of remorse and charity. So there you have it, folks. The strange, unsettling, and darkly comedic tale of Lin Shengbin. His story is a vivid illustration of how personal tragedies can become public spectacles, revealing deeper truths about human behavior and societal expectations. Stay tuned for more episodes of Asia Exposed, where we bring you the most shocking and thought-provoking stories from Asia.